Hey everyone, Itzkbo here. Welcome back to a very important video on my channel. Normally at this time of year, I'd be playing the actual FIFA game. This year I'm not even playing a demo, so we've got to make do with Footbin at the moment, and I've got quite an important and interesting and just basically a video that's going to be helpful for you guys is what I'm trying to get at there. So you would have seen by the title, we're going to be making quite a lot of starter squads in this video, and I'm going to try and cater to all the different wage budgets, because when you see a lot of the other YouTubers doing them, they do tend to do ones like their cheapest starter squad end up being like 50, 60k. I'm trying to show you ones that are like 15, 20 as well, and then I'll go up to like 30, 40k, and then we'll have one that's like 70, and maybe we'll go up to like 100, 150 as we go on. But I'm just trying to get you squads that are actually cheap, that are actually reliable. And from doing SBCs last year and just like trying to remember prices from last year and where cards are similar, I'm going to try and get you like a decent estimate of some prices. We're also telling you which kind of players are going to be good and giving you some alternatives if those ones tend to go up in price, and basically when you should buy them, stuff like that. So hopefully you're going to find this video very helpful, guys. Don't forget to leave a comment if you've got your own starter squad or anything like that, any good players you think that I should be using, drop them in the comments. You could help yourself out, you could help maybe me out, and even some other people in the comments as well, so make sure you do that. But without further ado, I'm going to be showing you some FIFA 21 starter squads. In we go. So our first squad, I said, would be our 10 to 15k one, so we'll be getting onto that in just a second. But just before we start, we've got some general tips that I think would be really important for you guys. So these are around like when you should buy players and just stuff like that, really. So we are just going to be starting off with like when you should buy your team. So from the start of the web app until the 9th, when the game comes out, your team will become more expensive. It will just go up. That is because people are getting more coins, and basically they're, especially when like EA Access comes out, people start packing a lot more stuff, so there's a lot more supply on the market. For some reason that pushes prices up before they go back down. But then when the game comes out, prices go down. I'm not sure about the actual explanation for this, but it's just something that happens every year, so I think we'll go with it. And then the big drop is at once to watch. So guys, if you can't afford like any of these squads, you can probably afford the first one, definitely. You only need to play out 1 goal squad battles to get in there. Yeah, wait for ones to watch and prices should drop. But anyway, just one other tip, literally everything you pack, make sure you check its price, because at the start of the game, even like the worst golds can still go for like 800 coins. So just try and get everything sold. Don't quick sell anything. So that's all I'd say, is try and get yourself the best chance of getting a team. And if you pack anything good that's untradeable, try and use it rather than just like sticking it in an SBC, because I've got to say everything counts at the start. But without further ado, we're going to get into our first team now. And this is what I'm saying is around 15, 20k. It might be 25 at the start, but I think it's going to be okay. And you can just see it here. So I'll start off by talking about the defenders. So Lafont in goal is just a decent one. You can also use people like Costil. He should work okay. But the goalkeepers at the start of the game, none of them are going to be brilliant. So you're just trying to find one that's okay. And then when the game actually comes out, you might be able to find a goalkeeper that's OP, like, you know, like FIFA 17 Jack Button kind of thing. Left back, I've got a Marvi. I did think about Kamara here, but I think he'd be more expensive. Kamara's got 88 pace, but I do reckon he's going to be like 6k at the start of the game. So I'd say probably avoid him. And Marvi, I think, will be a cheap alternative who's still got very good stats. Same with Diallo. He's like cheaper than Kimpembe, but does good stats. Diallo, I'd probably say like 2.5k at the start of the game. Mendes next to him will be 1k. Basically, he's not amazing when you first look at him, but he's very strong. He's not the slowest. If you stick any kind of chemistry style on him, he'll be okay. And he's got 79 defend as well. He's not a bad card. He's actually quite decent when you look at him. I just feel like he's been one of those players that maybe gets overlooked and will be quite cheap. Another one I think maybe might be overlooked is Buta, the right back. He's in a dead league, so he'll have a bit of price. I would say 2k at the start, because he has good stats. He's got like 94 pace, but he's hard to link. I've managed to link him into a Portuguese team, but a lot of people wouldn't. They'd look at his league and go, no, I'm not having that. So I think he'll be okay for price. The midfield three, we've got Sanson on the left, very solid card. He's one that I've got an inkling, he may be the one that's too expensive for this squad. Like, if any of these surprisingly become expensive, I reckon it'd be him. But there's this guy that plays for Stade Rons, Buraguade, I think his name is, or something like that. Just type in BOUR and he'll come up as the first player, I reckon. And use him because he's basically got the same stats, just slightly lower defending, but he's still good. On the other side, we've got Renato Sanchez. You can see him. Solid player. Everyone knows that Renato Sanchez is good. The fact that he's a non-rare, I think will put his price down a little bit. He might be a good one to try and bid on Renato Sanchez. That's something I'd recommend. You might be able to get a few sneaky bids on him below the buy now price. So he's just got an all-round good card in what I call a fake Hullet gang, which is where they have like all stats above 70. Because of course Hullet gangs will have more than 80, but you're not going to be getting any of those at the start of the game in your starter team. The cam, he might not look good again at first, but he's got the stats, but they matter. It's Malay. As a cam in a 4-3-3, you don't need to be the quickest. It's not like playing in a 4-2-3-1 or that kind of thing. He has to have that technical ability with 80 dribbling, 79 passes, 75 shooting. I think he's got that. I remember using him at the start of last game. He was solid. He was one that was really cheap. He was only like 900 coins and he was really good, so I'd recommend you get him in your team. Bamba's another one. I'm going off last year's prices where I can if the card is still very similar. Bamba was only sitting at like 1.8k at the start of the year and he even went down below that, so I think Bamba could be a really solid one. The fact that he's non-rare, again, it could make him cheaper. 88 pace, 74 shooting, and I believe he has got 4-star skills again. It's what you want in a starter player. On the other side, we've got Hanani. He's one that I remember, again, not being too expensive, but being solid. 91 pace. His shooting isn't as good as Bamba's, but you can still dribble. He's still a decent player. Crossing is slightly more important, so 68 passing isn't brilliant, but I'm guessing you can just try and cut in and maybe do a pass from closer in. It should still work okay. And then up front, we've got Kevin Gamiro. If he doesn't work, there are a few alternatives here. I'd recommend just using a striker maybe from League and playing Hanani off chemistry, or if you do find a player that works, then just let me know and you can use him. I think Adrian Silva might work. I can't remember who he plays for now though, but Gamiro is one that I definitely put in because he wasn't too expensive last year. He was like 3k or even below that at the start of the game. So yeah, he's one that I'd definitely recommend. 86 pace, 79 shooting. He's not as high rated as last year as well. Last year was 81 rated, which meant a lot of people used him in SBCs. More people are going to be packing him this year. People always seem to pack Gamiro, but more people are going to be packing him. He's going to be a very nice price for you guys. So that is the 15k team. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. You got any like suggestions to maybe add to it, then drop them in the comments and I will have a look at them, and you can help me out, you can help some other people out too. So on to the next squad, and we have got ourselves an interesting one here. And the reason it's interesting is Watford players, right? And Watford players are a weird one because they are good. There's some very, very good Watford players. There's Deulofeu, there's a left back as well that's sick. Suarez, who I'd never heard of, but he looks amazing, the striker, and of course Ismail Assar. Scored against Liverpool, we love him. No offence to you Liverpool fans, but they're in the Championship, and I think that will really take away from their price because none of them are in particularly linkable nations apart from Deulofeu. So I think a lot of people will not be using Sarr or Suarez. I know you can link them together, but I feel like a lot of people just won't use them. So Suarez, with that insane card, I can see him being like 3k maximum. And remember, this is 30 to 50k, so this can really go up and down in price. So I think this will definitely be under 50k, apart from maybe Sabitzer. You might have to change him, but I'll get onto him later. Ismail Assar out on the right. We all know how insane he is with the pace and whatever. And then you see our little perfect link we've got here. We've got Uribe to Diaz. Diaz looks sick, right? 76 shooting on a winger is actually very good. Of course, he's got a 92 pace. He can dribble well as well. So I think he's a proper good like starter team player. And then we've got Uribe linking to him. Again, another fake Hullet gang player. Slightly better than Sanson and Renato Sanchez. Really, really solid card, Uribe. Always a good player, but this year he's looking particularly nice. Clerk and Bartra, I think, is a nice one. Bartra, if he's too expensive, there's a lot of other players that can go there. Just look for, I think there's Unai Nunez to have one off the top of my head, but there's quite a few that can replace Bartra. Clark, I've gone for him, or Claire, however you say it. I've gone for him because there's a few that are better than him, but he's still a really solid card. He's not the best left back that people will be using in starter squads, but he has the right attributes when they matter. He's got pace, he's got physical, his defending is only 69, but if he's got the other attributes, should be able to body people off the ball without too much skill involved. So I'd say he's a decent one. Bartra, always a great player. He's gone down in rating as well, which will make him a lot easier to get in your squads. 72 pace, I think he's similar to last year. 74 physical, isn't the best, but still okay. He's not the shortest either, and 80 defending. And then Massip in goal is just another one of those where you don't know which goalkeeper's going to be good, but he seemed to have good stats for his rating compared to the others around him. Then we go on to the four players from Leverkusen, Leipzig, and I think these will be hard to work out the price off. Upamecano, I can see him being about 6k when the game comes out. I can see him drop. He plummets, though. Upamecano plummets quickly. He did last year. So I think that will happen again. He'll end up like 2.5, 3k. This is why I made this one 30 to 50k, because I think these players are great investments. They're going to be very good players for you, but they may not be the cheapest. So this is why they're not in the lowest squad. Because a lot of YouTubers, you see, they do their starter squads, and then they put in their cheapest squad. They'll put players like these in who are not actually going to end up as cheap as they say they are. Mukiele up next. As a right back, I think that'll put his price down. If he was a centre back, he'd be a lot more expensive. And Klosterman, like, is going to be more expensive than these ones. He's got 84 pace, so I think personally you are using the right players here. Just had a little ad pop up, so I need to scroll down. But yeah, there we go. Scroll down too much. Unbelievable. So that's him. Into our midfield. And Cuckoo, I think, won't be too expensive, like 4k, and he'll go down quickly. Good all-round card. Slightly more attacking base, but it's fine. You've got a rebate. And we've got Sabitzer in there right now. If Sabitzer does become expensive, because I can see him, don't use Lena. Lena will be even more expensive. I say use Forsberg. Campbell is terrible. Do not use Campbell. I've already seen his card. If you need to replace Sabitzer, I'd say use either Guilavogui, if you want to be more defensive, or Forsberg if you want to be more attacking. So that is his squad. We'll go on to our next one. This is around 60-70k. A little adventurous, this one, but I think this is really good. I think this is a class squad, so we'll talk through it now. And you can see our little triangle we've made at the front, and this is a triangle that could be good value. Bakumbu, I'd reckon like 5k at the start of the game. Vieira around, well, a little bit less. I'd say Vieira like 4. And Fernando, I reckon, will be like 2.5. I don't think it'll be too expensive. But he's a lovely, good all-round card. Slightly defensive. So I'd recommend this is one where you change formation, perhaps. Or swap Tolisso and Fernando if you want to stay more attacking. Bakumbu looks amazing, of course. 90 pace. 77 physical, but his strength is quite high. And 80 shooting as well. And then Vieira is just a very solid-looking cam to have in your squad. He's relatively quick. He can pass well. He can shoot well. And he can dribble well. So he's not the strongest, but apart from that, sick card. Delafeu. Again, playing for Watford, I think that'll put his price down. He gets that lovely link to Estupinian, who looks like another lovely little steal, lovely all-round card that you can put in your squad. And remember, this is like 60-70k, so these players are... Again, I'm picking ones that are around like 4 or 5k each for this one. On the other side, we've got Rafinha. I reckon he'll start quite expensive. I reckon he could start as high as 6 or 6.5. And again, he'll drop. But 91 pace, 75 shooting, 4-star skills. I loved him last year, and he was 79 rated last year, so he's only going to be better. And Traore, I think a lot of people focused on the French right backs here for this league, so I would focus on people like Aguilar, Lala, and I think there's quite a few other ones. I don't think they'll focus on Traore as much. I think that'll drive his price down to like 3k, so I think he could be a complete steal, Traore at right back. Then we get into the pricier things. Again, we got Upamecano, who I've already spoke about. Canate, I reckon, would follow the same trend. Maybe slightly less because of his pace difference, but I reckon he'll be around the same price, because if you buy one of them, you're most likely buying the other. And then Tolisso is probably going to be the most expensive player in the squad, I'd say. I'd say he's probably start around 11, 12k and then dip. Tolisso does dip very quickly. He'll dip to 3 in like 2 weeks. But he's going to be the most expensive player in this squad at the start. And then Pavlenka in goal. You just need a Bundesliga goalkeeper who's decent. So on to our final squad. This is one where if you've got a little bit more dough about you, if you've managed to get yourself a decent player packed, I don't know if you pack like a Vardy, or I don't even know, just something like that. Something that's going to be around 150k at the start. I don't know who else to think of, but that's my best example. So this one is a little bit more pricey. You can see a few players in here that are probably going to be expensive. We'll start off with our little Swiss triangle that you can see. And Babu, I'd say around 6k. I'm basing this off last year because he's literally the same player as last year. Akanji around 20 because he's the same as last year. Again, and Zakaria around 20 as well. So that's around 40. That's around 45k for that little triangle there. But the rest of the squad is very nice. Vaklik looks like a really solid goalkeeper, and he's strong links to Kunde, who I reckon will be around 6k. 77 pace, 73 physical isn't the best, but he's quick, he's got the stats where it matters, and Roussillon I reckon will be another like 15k. So this is proper pricey players you can stick in a squad that are still good. Rabiot is a really good one. I'd say around 15 for him. And then Bernardeschi I think will be cheaper. Bernardeschi has got the stats to play Cam. With this squad, I say you play 4-3-3, or maybe you can move Gozens into the middle. If you play 4-3-1-2, you could play Bernardeschi as a cam, play Ozan and Lozano up front. Because we've got onto Gozens now. Gozens has the potential to play literally anywhere in your squad. You can play him left back, you can play him left wing, you can play him in centre mid, you can play him at cam. He has got the stats to basically play anywhere if you look at his card. I reckon he'll be around 10k at the start because people are going to be on him, but then he's going to fall quite quickly because some people might see his position and go, he's not fast enough. But if you play him in a different position, like in-game you switch your players around, he's going to be sick. Lozano again around 8, and Ozyman I'd say around 8 as well. So that's why I'm going for them. Ozyman looks amazing. If he gets any informs, he's going to be mental. Like 87 pace, 79 physical. If he gets one inform, that's like 89 pace, 83, like 82 shooting. 82 physical, and then Lozano, we all know about Lozano, rapid, skillful, amazing. So those are my teams, guys. I'll try to keep this quick as I can while still trying to be like detailed at the same time. So thank you to everyone that's watched this video. If you've got your own suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you very, very much for watching this, and I will see you soon for more FIFA 21 content. So don't forget to like and subscribe for all the SBCs and more. Goodbye.